Now, this is a sweet treat I love making because it's sort of a cut and come again cake. You can wrap it up, it keeps moist really well. That's because of the yogurt and because of the pears, the fruit that we're using. It's a very adaptable recipe as well, so if you wanted to swap out pears for apples, it would be absolutely glorious. It is totally up to you. I'm delighted to be teaming up with Stonyfield Organic today. Last month, I attended their virtual farm tour, which myself and Noah thoroughly enjoyed as we got to really see where the yogurt came from and to see their beautiful cows. Stonyfield sourced their yogurt from organic family farms, and it was brilliant to see the people behind the product. This recipe makes the most of Stonyfield organic probiotic yogurt, and it's perfect in this really moist and dense cake. But the beauty of it is just how easy it comes together. It's going to start off by combining our dry ingredients in a bowl. So I've got some brown sugar, some plain flour, a little bit of baking soda, and our spices, which are some cardamom and some mixed spice. Now, the combination of both cardamom and mixed spice works incredibly well, particularly with the pears. But if you wanted to keep it really simple and you only have cinnamon in the store cupboard, a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons is ideal in here. What I love most about this cake is just how easy it comes together. It's basically wet ingredients, dry ingredients, and fruit. So once you've mixed the dry ingredients like this, we're going to toss the pear in this to make sure that it kind of gets coated and it allows it to kind of sit better within the batter. So once you have the dry ingredients nicely mixed through, it's time to crack on with our pears. So as soon as you've cut up the pear like this, we're going to get that straight back into the bowl and get it tossed through those dry ingredients. Now, once you have all that pear nicely coated in the dry ingredients, make a well in the center and set it aside because now it is time for our wet ingredients. And because this is a gorgeous, moist and dense yogurt cake, of course, we need some Stonyfield organic probiotic yogurt. We're gonna mix that together with 2 eggs, a little bit of sunflower oil, some treacle, or you could use blackstrap molasses, it's up to you. And we're gonna mix that all through and then get it into our dry ingredients. The minute you start whisking the yogurt and the black molasses, it just completely transforms this mixture and turns it into this kind of sweet and unctuous concoction that's going to bring this entire cake together. Like I said, if you don't have black treacle, you can use blackstrap molasses. It will do exactly the same thing. And that combined with the spices in this cake leaves you with this most gloriously scented cake. So straight into the well we've created, we're going to fold this through really gently. And the key here is not to overmix. You want to keep this mixed only a slight amount until it comes together and you're left with a nice cake batter. It is possibly one of the easiest cake batters to make because you are dumping and folding and not much more. And it has to be one of the easiest cakes you'll ever make. And it really gives great results because of the spice and the moistness that you get from it. Now that you have the batter pretty much ready to rock, I'm going to pour it into a prepared loaf tin and it's going to go and cook in the oven for about 50 minutes. Now the trick here is that if it starts to brown on top, because it's going to take a little bit longer in the oven, stick a bit of tin foil on and it'll just prevent it from burning on the top. So into the tin, into the oven, and let's get cooking. Now that that cake has come out of the oven, it's cooled completely, you are left with this gorgeous moist loaf that is begging to be topped with a very simple topping of yogurt, mascarpone and maple syrup. It's a sweet, cool and creamy topping that works great with the moist spice that's going on in this loaf. And if you were preparing this in advance and you wanted to kind of wrap it and keep it for a little bit, you can keep it like this without topping it, wrap it tightly in some cling film, and only serve alongside this when you are ready to go. But for now, let's top it. Just have a look at that. Beautiful maple yogurt mascarpone mix. This frosting is ready to go on top of our loaf at this point. Now, to go alongside this frosting, I have my magic ingredient, which is a very simple sugar syrup that I've reduced down, made thick and glossy. It's almost like a little caramel that we're gonna pour over the top here. You create it with some sugar, some water, and a vanilla pod, and just reduce that down until you have a nice thick syrup, and that's just gonna be dressed over the top of this frosting, and we'll be left with an absolutely spectacular loaf. Come on, just have a look at that. Beautiful, moist cake that is now ready to be devoured. So let's dive in and try some. Because it's had that time in the oven, there's this lovely crust on the outside, but inside you have this really moist and tender loaf that comes from that really great quality yogurt we've used. It's got this lovely sweetness from all those pears, the treacle and that brown sugar. But then the real highlight is the sweet sugar syrup through the mascarpone and yogurt frosting. It is an absolute winner that I hope you'll give a go this winter. Thanks again to Stonyfield Organic for sponsoring this video, and you can check out the full recipe in the link below in the description. If you want more information about Stonyfield Organic and all their products, check out the link below. See you soon!